All right, a few minutes with Gabe Kapler, the Giants' new manager.
Yeah.
How does that even sound when it comes out of my mouth?
I'm still processing it all.
Uh-huh.
It's really humbling, actually. When I put the jersey and the hat on in the press conference, it reminded me that I'm one of 30 managers in Major League Baseball, but more specifically that the opportunity to be the manager of an iconic franchise with as passionate and intelligent fan base as this is, in a city as diverse and open as it is it's mind-blowing, man. I feel really lucky right now.
Yeah, you're a young man. I mean, you're 44 years old, and this is what your second team that you're the skipper of.
Yeah, well, I think one of the cool things about being in Philadelphia was I learned a lot of lessons, had some of the rough edges smoothed out,
Right.
and then was reminded that I have a long way to go as it relates to learning and being better at the job of being the manager of a Major League Baseball team.
What would you say is your big takeaway
Yeah.
from your experience as Phillies manager?
I think my biggest takeaway is I'm kind of wired to try to get every little strategic advantage
Right.
in the game. And the reason I'm wired like that is because I'm just naturally very competitive. I love to win.
Right.
It's very important.
At anything? Checkers?
Yeah, no, I want to.
Okay.
Yeah, like even so much as like if you're having a healthy debate with somebody,
Okay.
you want to walk away feeling
Right.
like you did a good job in that conversation. So very competitive, and in doing so, I also recognize that in-game decisions become very competitive as well. But one of the things I learned in Philadelphia is that you can't make those in-game strategic decisions at the expense of confidence with your players. So specifically, you might get a small upgrade in a matchup, but it might take away some confidence from the player that you might be pinch hitting for or taking out of the game to replace him with somebody else. So understanding that has a ripple effect, that you might get an upgrade in the game, but for 5 games going forward, you might lose a little confidence. There's a little psychological game that happens within the dugout and between the lines, and just being cognizant. One of the things I learned in Philadelphia is just how to be cognizant of the balance between using the best information that we have and instilling confidence in the players.
You know what I like about you? Your transparency, because I've been through a lot of press conferences, so I didn't know what to expect today, taking the temperature of social media last night, and you just took it head on. I mean, you took some tough questions. I mean, Susan Slusher and Killian, Jane McCauley, those are 3 of the titans in this market as far as scribes. You just took it on.
I think the reason that they're titans and the reason they've been so successful in their careers and why they're so well respected is because they ask the tough questions, and they're committed to change. And so in order to be committed to change and to have a voice in this community, you have to hold people accountable. And I don't mind that. I think it's actually really good for society. I think it's good for sports franchises. The baseball needs to change and move forward and be better at handling some of these issues that we tackled during my time in Los Angeles. And I have a lot of growth. I didn't handle those situations as well as I could have. And so tackling it head on, being open about it is something that's really important in these situations, and why the women that you mentioned have been so successful in their careers.
In this day and age, it's 2019, Gabe, and this is the age where it's all about perception and the brand.
Yeah.
And starting off, I don't know if you feel like you're down 8-0 at the jump on this one, and you got to all of a sudden
really
just like kind of play
Right.
defense. But when somebody kind of looks at you, the perception is, I don't know. How do you go about turning that around?
By not trying to turn it around in one day, not trying to turn it around in one conversation, knowing that trust and belief is built over a long period of time, and being very consistent with my actions. And one of the actions is getting out into the community and doing good work.
Now, I know you know a few guys in the clubhouse. I believe long ago you played with him. You might know Stephen Vogt if he's around.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I'm going to get Sarah to hand me the phone here, and just assuming the camera is still rolling, make sure the red dot is you see the red dot up there? Okay.
I feel like I'm about to get put on the spot in a major way.
This is going to be good. I can see Longoria taking this picture, going, "Hey, here's our new manager."
I knew it. I didn't know you were going to pull that one specifically, but
hey, but at least you're ripped. Look at you.
That's a young kid, man. Like I don't even recognize that guy. No, it's really interesting. That was a time in my life as a baseball player where, I was able to enjoy those moments and have fun with them. And now, having my teammates bust my chops for it over the course of my life, it has given me thick skin. And one of the great things about being in a Major League Baseball clubhouse is you're just totally exposed every single day.
Right.
You know, you're around these guys as much as you're around your family sometimes, and they're constantly, you know, busting chops. And so sometimes it's really important to have a sense of humor and to roll with it a little bit. And so baseball has taught me how to have thick skin.
Two more and we'll get out of here.
No
First
problem.
of all, what happens now for you?
I mean, I think there's a couple of things that has to happen. I need to go on a listening tour. And going on a listening tour means talking a little bit less and asking a lot of questions, being inquisitive. That is specific to our players. It's specific to the people who in this organization who have seen much, much more than I have, and start to acquire a file about what's been going on. And certainly through the interview process, I did a lot of that and have an understanding, but there's a lot more listening that needs to be done. So that's number one. Number two, hiring a dynamic coaching staff that I can depend on.
Right.
So when, you know, maybe I'm not there, really good things are happening. And maybe I can focus my attention on a player or a conversation like this and know that our coaching staff is collaborative and they're working as a team to develop our players. Those are two things that...
And speaking as a team, and we'll wrap it up with this, as far as like how it works, is it like, let's say Farhan says, you know, I have a vision. This Scott Harris says, hey, that's great. I'll run it to Gabe. And then Farhan says, no, let's walk in there together. And then you all three kind of a mutual decision on.
I mean, I love
how to run it.
The visual that you just laid out is something that's very, very exciting to me. I think very good decisions come out of healthy debate. Sometimes they come out of like being on the same page right away, but oftentimes the best decisions and the most creativity and the way you take the best steps forward is by having a healthy back and forth in a debate, respectfully, with sensitivity, but also with some strength and some conviction. And then you walk out of the room like having new ideas and being kind of arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, and doing things together as a team.
Well, hey, welcome to the Giants. You are the second Cap in this Bay Area sports market. The first being Colin Kaepernick, and he was 5 or so yards away from winning a Super Bowl. So,
wow.
So there you go.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
I appreciate it, Vern.